Good evening. It is 6:30 p.m. Monday, December 20th, 2021. This is a Kearney Board of Aldermen meeting. We'll call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Shirley, have you had a chance to take roll this evening?
I have taken roll. Everybody's present, and you have a...
We'll move on to the consent agenda. You'll see the consent agenda. Any questions or items of discussion on the consent agenda this evening? Seeing no questions or discussions being raised, can we entertain a motion to pass the consent agenda as presented?
I make a motion to pass the consent agenda as presented.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda passes. We'll move on to Mayor's report this evening. First, I want to mention thanks to the Clay County Commission and Auditor Victor Holbert for $12,000 of ARPA funding for the Kearney Senior Center HVAC. Encloses a county resolution authorizing $12,000 in ARPA funds that began just a few weeks ago with an invitation from Associate Commissioner Megan Thompson. We followed up with the request to replace the HVAC system at the Kearney Senior Center to install an air purifying system similar to what we have installed in City Hall this time last year. I'm delighted to report that our application prepared by Shirley Zimmerman and David Pavlich was handled with lightning speed by Clay County Auditor Victor Holbert. I very much appreciate the care and considerations given to us in seeking this grant on behalf of the Kearney Senior Center. It is important for our citizens to know the dedication of Clay County elected officials in devoting their time and support to our needs. So it's been a great experience, and I appreciate that. Also, I want to talk about the lighted parade and a great success and recognize Mr. Bill Scholl for his efforts.
He's not here yet.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll pick that up in a few minutes.
Yeah, I will ask the board if I can pass on that until Mr. Scholl gets in attendance.
Please do.
I have something I want to present to him this evening as well. Last item under Mayor's remarks, Mr. Scholl is able to join us, is want to thank my special visitors from 397 this evening. You gentlemen did a great job, so thank you for starting the meeting for us, and lead us in the pledge. And then I also have another special guest this evening, Mr. Alexander Schmid. He is my host son from Germany. He played football this year for Kearney and had to have the opportunity to join us at a meeting this year. So, Alex, thanks for being here.
Don't you think it's noteworthy to explain to this audience that he came and served as our football kicker, and he lettered?
Yes.
That's not right. That's unusual, isn't it?
So he, like most Europeans, has a heck of a leg. He's a soccer player, and they put him to use as a kicker. So has a heck of a leg on him.
Chiefs may use him Sunday.
They may need. Yeah. Are you ready, Alex?
Yeah. Small matter to letter on for that.
No.
For a first time out for football.
Yeah.
Impressed.
All the way from Germany, too.
All the way from Germany. All right, we'll move on to Administrator's report.
Mr. Mayor, we have with us Jeff Goldenberg and Michael Rod.
Mr. Administrator, you mind? I think Mr. Scholl's walking in. Can I stop you real
Reclaim
quick?
yourself? You bet. Mr. Scholl, come right to the podium.
They were talking about it.
Okay.
That's why my ears were burning, right?
David, does the camera pick him up? Can you check and make sure that he's
he's on. Yeah, you can see him on the screen.
So as I mentioned, I wanted the lighted parade was a great success, and I wanted the opportunity to recognize Bill Scholl for his volunteer efforts, along with Kurt Hamilton and Penny Frick and the rest of the Kearney and Richmond Council Board for another stellar holiday event. The stars were certainly out with us last Saturday, December 11th. We estimate several thousand turned out for a very wonderful evening here in downtown Kearney. Good times and good memories were made that night. Kurt Hamilton had a trolley full of seniors in the parade, and one of the seniors told Kurt that it was one of the best days of their lives. So if you've missed out on our event, good news. We are definitely planning for a third year and look forward to doing it again next year. One of the events, the highlights of the events was definitely the fireworks display. I've received numerous great compliments, and they continue to keep finding their way to me. And I'm pleased that Mr. Scholl, who volunteered once again to set up our fireworks, is joining us tonight. And I do hope that the Scholl family will keep doing our Christmas fireworks. I don't know, Bill, if you've had the opportunity to see this picture yet or not, but we had a photographer snap this photo, which I think really, to me, shows exactly what your fireworks do when you shoot them off. We had this young lady in front of Paisley Candle Home, just at all at the fireworks. So we would like to give this to you and hope it brings joy to you. So thank you so much, Bill.
Thank you so very, very much. I did want to return some money to the city, and I got some invoices that have been paid, but I'll return a check for $1,430. I've deducted the cost of fireworks and then $100 for some additional supplies. I think considering all of the problems on having supplies and everything, we did pretty good on that. I want to thank the Kearney Police Department. They donated a dozen of their road flares to help get everything lit up and going. Thank you very, very much, and this is wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Merry
Bill.
Christmas.
Thanks, Bill. We will now move on to the administrator's report.
Mr. Mayor, we have with us Jeff Goldenberg and Michael Rodriguez. And Michael, I suppose you're on there.
Yes.
The renewal for our insurance for property, casualty, liability, and vehicle insurance and workman's comp totals to $258,186. That is an 18% increase over last year. We can accommodate that increase in our current budget. We're quite pleased with Travelers Insurance. Look forward to continuing that relationship with them. I think Michael can explain to you all exactly why we saw such a large movement in our insurance costs, and I know Jeff for sure can. So if you guys could take the floor, and David, could you make sure that we do present them on the screen, make that enlarged if you can.
Before we give Mr. Goldenberg and Rodriguez the floor, I would just ask them, which I'm sure Jeff's got it covered here, but as the city continues to grow and obtain more assets, our insurance coverage amounts increase. So you'll notice that that's part of our increase as well, as our total coverage has substantially increased as well. The floor is yours.
Very good. Did you want to go, Jeff?
No, that's fine. I'll let you go ahead and go through it.
Okay, very good. Well, appreciate you all inviting us to the meeting tonight. Also appreciate the opportunity to service the city's insurance portfolio here. Hopefully you all have had a chance to look at our proposal. There, I think on page 5 of that PDF, and if it's not available, I could definitely share the screen.
It's enclosed in our agenda packet, but we don't mind you, if we can give that ability to you. I know we can share it to you. So you're welcome to put that on screen.
Let's see.
Brian, you give me the ability to do that?
Yes, he should have that ability.
All right.
There you go.
Try to minimize these other items. So again, I think what we like to do here is just really show you in the column. So again, what they noted was you guys are growing. So the property limits have gone up this year. The number of law enforcement officers have gone up. We've got additional autos this year. So all those things really are coming. If you just look at the premium change, it's obviously 18%. But what we like to do is we like to take your renewal exposures and multiply them by last year's rates. So you really get a true apples to apples view of this. And then you're really looking at an overall rate change in the last column of only 2%, which honestly, that's probably one of the best renewals I've seen since July of this year. A little bit further down on page 5, I kind of went through line by line, just again, a quick summary in case it's not explained well enough, or if you've not seen one of my charts here before. So again, the property, we've increased some values. There's a couple things added this year. A couple things were coming off builder's risk. So those are some of the things that we noticed this year from last year at inception. Did anybody have any questions?
Is there any change in this deal?
Not yet.
Okay.
So will we get a raise in the middle of the year as this thing starts?
I'm not so sure we'll have a whole lot of, we don't generally have too many improvements on the interchange. We won't have to insure our bridges on that because that'll be a MoDOT owned bridge.
Okay.
And so I'm not sure that's gonna have a huge impact on it.
No, okay.
A big piece of MoDOT out of the gate.
Yeah. All right.
We know why the rate change was so big on the cyber aspect?
Yes. So in general, the huge cyber increases for almost every insured happened after July of this year. I would tell you that, so if you look at the column from last year, premium at inception for cyber from Travelers last year was $108. Just truly not a realistic value, I would say. I think a lot of companies figured this out over the last year or so. And then by the time July hit this year on cyber, it's kind of been really difficult to place a lot of people's cyber, because if you don't have all the right controls in place, there was a bunch of insurance companies that just said, we're not going to even provide you a quote. So we have the capacity of the market coming down, so less insurance companies willing to quote. We actually did take this out to a couple other cyber markets that would entertain the government public entity risk. And we did find one other quote, and I believe, let's see, if it's not here at the bottom page on 5, yes, here we go. So at the bottom of page 4 here, we actually did find a cyber quote from Hiscox. Hiscox is kind of more of a London-based carrier than Travelers being based here in the United States. The quote, as you can see, we actually outlined the quote for full transparency there. But when we started comparing the coverage forms, the coverage is just not as broad as what Travelers is offering. And so in good faith, while it might seem decent so that's $2,700 roughly to $3,700. Our guidance would be for the city to stick with Travelers on this one.
Rodriguez, I noticed in the banking industry, that's a line of coverage that is pushed every year. It's kind of the world we're living in with everything kind of going electronically, and I know none of us can look at a crystal ball and look at the future, but do you think it's a fair assumption to that's probably an area that we could probably expect an increase year over year as cyber crimes and that risk continues to increase?
So that's a great question. I do feel like what we're seeing here for this year is kind of the market correction for travelers. So to look forward in the crystal ball and tell you that it's going to be that kind of increase for next year, I would say there's no way. It just, yes, it looks crazy on this paper because it was just so small a premium last year at $108. Again, to just kind of give you some perspective, there wasn't much cyber even available last year for $100 on any coverage for any insured. So I think it really just kind of what we're seeing here is really an outline that the government or the public entity space at Travelers really didn't have a good handle on what the price was supposed to be last year. And actually the couple years before that. We are probably going to continue to see some cyber increases, but I really do feel that the market has corrected quite a bit from July until now for renewals for 1/1. And, really what we can do is, in the meantime, we can just work with both Travelers or us on, educational pieces and help everybody out, just make sure that we've got the right risk controls in place.
Yeah, one thing I might add to what Michael is saying is as the cyber world continues to evolve, putting best practices in place will help to make sure that we can always get you the best, the best coverage and the best kind of prices, because that becomes more challenging for everybody. And you guys are off to a good start. As Jim can attest, the renewal process was more challenging this year than it probably has been in years past. But that's, we want to work with you to make sure that continues in the right direction.
And we are working to improve our cybersecurity here in City Hall, doing called double authentication, and so that process is being felt by even every single employee working for us has to face up to that, and we'll be doing more of those kinds of procedures in the future. So yes, we will try to keep up and keep pace with the new security measures that need to be implemented for us to even be able to have insurance. So I appreciate you guys helping us with that, Jeff and Michael both.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I think the one thing that we might want to point out too is, and Jim knows this, so on the automobile line and also the work comp, both those policies are audited at year end. So, this policy that's going away as of 1/1, Jim's probably going to get some paperwork, or he might even get a phone call or visit. And, they basically look at both the payrolls and the amount of vehicles you have during the year. And if you guys have sold some vehicles off during the year, then that premium will come down proportionately. And same thing with the workers' comp and the payroll. If that fluctuated down, you'll get a little money back. But as you can see on this screen, it looks like we're projecting payrolls up for 22. So again, the work comp works the same way too. So if payrolls ended up for the year, then there might be a little additional on last year's policy.
So, Mr. Mayor, with this presentation, I'd ask for a motion from the board for us to proceed with authorization so we can get bound by Travelers for January 1. The premiums don't generally get paid right until January, so we very much need, a binder to cover it until those premiums are paid.
Any other questions or items of discussion on this topic from the board? Not going to entertain a motion to continue our relationship with Assure Partners.
I'll make a motion to do that.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
And Mr. Mayor, I should have mentioned, the picture that went out of here with Bill Scholl was shared with us graciously by the Kearney Enrichment Council. It was given to them by Heather Kauer, Kauer, and I give you that name because she is a professional photographer, and that is a very nice picture. And I got the permission, not directly from her, but from Kurt. So I want to make sure I properly credit her, and because it is a beautiful picture, and I think it does encapsulate the whole reason why we do what we do. So I was very much appreciative of that. And one thing we do want to also do is resume our annual Christmas brunch that we have informally held in our city hall on Christmas Eve. It starts promptly at 10 a.m. Don't come at 11. You're going to be late. If you come at noontime, the door will be locked. We're going home.
Actually, it's
So-
the 23rd.
Thursday.
Did I say
You said
Christmas Eve? This is not Christmas Eve also. Then I'm going to throw you here.
Don't show up Christmas Eve.
Don't show up Christmas Eve. We won't be here at all because of the weekend, the way it falls. But you're welcome to come. Don't worry about bringing a dish or anything. Your presence will be great, and there'll be plenty of food.
We're not having our Friday morning meeting at 7.
Mayor, you haven't given us the word on that. I respect you on that. However, we don't have to pay overtime. Concludes my report, Mr. Mayor.
Move on to public requests and petitions.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Mayor, I believe I've got a correction to make on the whole agenda. Both of those items should be under public hearings, and so they need to be declared as public hearings, and I will do that.
Make a motion to move items 5A, 5B to items 6A and 6B.
I make a motion to amend the agenda, moving items 5A and B to 6A and B.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Not sure what relevance that makes, but other than the fact that it got by everybody at City Hall. Anyway, a public hearing has been scheduled to consider a rezoning request and a concept site plan from Belfante's Fireworks on property just north of the old Shell Station, Futures Casey's, which is at 440 West 92 Highway. We've got an address for you guys. 440 West 92 Highway, for the purpose of constructing a 3,200 square foot permanent retail fireworks sales outlet. At the public hearing held by the Planning and Zoning Commission on Monday, December 13th, minutes are enclosed. The commission voted unanimously 6-0 to recommend approval for CP zoning, subject to all staff comments, and to require additional facade improvements to the west and south sides of the buildings per the city architectural's requirements. And I'm assuming the city staff comments will support that you've had contact with the Belfani brothers, and they're not only going to do that, bring eggnog probably get teased about that a lot.
Yes, it's usually ice cream.
I'm an eggnog guy. Mr. Mayor, staff should be able to comment on that, and also our board liaison, Kathy Barker, may also desire to offer additional briefing on this subject.
David Pavlich, Community Development Director. I'd like to point out that the elevations in the packet are updated elevations from last meeting. So they added additional stucco and additional stone veneer up the corners of the building at the request of Planning and Zoning.
And they've considered it.
Yes.
Alderman Barker, do you have any anything to add from Planning and Zoning Commission?
I think the two biggest concerns were to make sure that there was access between McDonald's and the old Shell New Casey station. We're sure that that is the case, and then obviously the exteriors, we wanted to make sure that those two sides that face the access roads, I-35 and 92 highway, looked nice. And so we appreciate the Belfani putting in the stucco to make that happen.
Was there a mention about maybe a three-way agreement on maintaining of that private drive?
No, we didn't discuss that.
Any other?
What recourse do we have if that private drive gets, I mean, I'm not necessarily meaning them, because I mean, it's already got a problem. On that, because that becomes a safety hazard with potholes and different things like that down there. Do we got any recourse?
Private drive?
Yeah.
We could send letters like a nuisance, and request that they make repairs. I've seen McDonald's or a contractor out doing repairs
They have-
periodically.
They're deteriorating again, it's like
Yeah.
concrete or something.
Yeah, I think when you have customers in and out of the gas station and to a McDonald's, that you want to make sure that your driveway is in good enough shape for those customers, so.
Yeah.
But
But it's been in bad shape for a while, that's why.
There are no other items of discussion or questions from the board. I'm done. Thank you. This time, if you would like to speak for or against the proposed application, I'll have you come forward to the podium, state your name and address for the record. Call the floor open.
you might ask if there's anyone online specifically for that too. There's an iPhone.
Brian, do you have anybody online?
Mr. Mayor, I'm not seeing anyone raise their hand currently.
See nobody move, we'll close the floor for public comment and input. Would the applicant like to speak?
Yes, good evening, Mr. Mayor and Board of Aldermen. I just want to introduce myself. I'm David Belfani, and owner of Belfani Fireworks. I'm here tonight with my wife, Christy, and my two sons, Henry and Johnny. Our family's been in the fireworks business for 16 years now, and we currently have a location right off of 92 and A Highway that we've been there for 16 years, and we've always had fun doing this. We very much hope this gets passed because we look forward to being part of the Kearney business community. I think you'll be proud to have us on board, and I'm here for any questions that you may have.
Great, thank you.
Is this a year-round operation?
Not a year-round operation.
The question, is it a year-round?
Yeah.
And
No, it is not.
Yeah.
After the mayor responded, then I understood what the question was. I'm sorry.
Are there any other questions from the board?
Do we have any idea what the building's gonna be used for? Is it just gonna sit vacant the rest of the year, or?
Probably a warehouse.
Warehouse to store?
They proposed to do off-season retail of seasonal items too, so they.
that's not the question, that wasn't how it was asked, and that it will be used throughout the year.
It will be used throughout the year, yes.
They won't be selling
They
fireworks.
won't be selling fireworks throughout the year. They'll only sell fireworks.
That was my question because
Right.
of the tents, that's why.
Right. Yeah, they'll only sell fireworks during the time that the city allows fireworks. Outside the fireworks season, they'll do retail sales of other items,
Milk, ice cream.
seasonal items.
Eggnog.
Maybe eggnog and ice cream.
Well,
It's,
I'm under the impression, am I wrong about that if you're out of state, you can buy fireworks at other times
the state allows it.
at wholesale?
State does allow it, yes.
So we don't.
And you could even sell to Missouri residents as long as they sign a waiver that they'll be lighting the fireworks out of state.
Our fireworks code doesn't allow retail sales, except during a window of June 20th to July 5th.
Right. But there won't be any fireworks sales during out at the other times at all?
No, I'd like it to be, but I'm certainly gonna follow whatever.
I'm simply unaware of that. I thought I thought these places that I see along the highway conduct sales throughout the year.
They could if the local laws allow it.
Ours does not allow retail sales except between June 20th to July 5th.
Any other questions from the board? Not, if you can read those ordinance first reading by title only, please.
An ordinance amending Chapter 400 of the Municipal Code, the comprehensive zoning regulations of Kearney, Missouri, rezoning .41 acres from C General Commercial District to CP3 General Commercial Plan District with concept plan for frontage addition tract.
Motion to approve on first reading.
Second that?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Second reading by title only, please.
And ordinance amending Chapter 400 of the Municipal Code, the comprehensive zoning regulations of Kearney, Missouri, rezoning .41 acres from C General Commercial District to CP3 General Commercial Plan District from concept plan for frontage addition tract.
So moved.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hold the board, please.
Alderman Spencer.
Aye.
Alderman Holt.
Aye.
Alderman Lehman.
Aye.
Alderman Barger.
Aye.
Votes unanimous, Mr. Mayor.
Congratulations to the Belfani family, and welcome to Kearney proper. I know you've been Kearney, but unincorporated, so welcome. We're glad you're here.
Very happy, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll be over for some fresh eggnog, all right?
There you go.
Thank you.
Ice cream, ice cream.
Have a Merry Christmas, thank you. I do believe the next item, if I could entertain a motion to,
Make a motion to table the PC Homes Kearney Crossing rezoning request.
To the next meeting, which would be.
Well, I don't know if it'll be
Yeah,
the next meeting.
until we
It'll
have,
be the one after the 10th.
Yeah.
January 18th, Tuesday, January 18th.
as we all know, planning and zoning tabled that item, so
Yeah.
I would like to get a response or recommendation from our commission.
But
before
did
we
you have a
make decision.
set time when you was bringing that back, or did,
We tabled it
I heard
to,
you just tabled it?
no, we tabled it to January 10th.
Oh, okay,
So this 18th is a good date.
Yes, that would
okay,
work,
then I table it to the 18th.
Thank you.
as the 17th is a holiday.
Tuesday.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have no old business this evening, no new business. We do have an executive session noticed up in accordance with RSMO 610021. The board may go into a closed session during this meeting to discuss matters of litigation, legal actions, and/or communication from the city attorney as provided under section 610021, subsection 1, real estate, 2, employee personnel matters, and 3, we entertain a motion to enter into executive session at 7:04 PM.
I make a motion.
5,000,
A second.
5,000.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Pull the board.
Alderman Spencer.
Aye.
Alderman Holt.
Aye.
Alderman Lehman.
Aye.
Alderman Barger.
Aye.
After we complete our executive session, we'll return back to our normal setting.
If I don't see
It is off mute.
We adjourned our executive session at 7:56. We'll move on to Alderman discussion. Alderman Barger?
I would just like to commend the city for adopting the wellness program. I think from an HR standpoint, it's very important that we support the wellness incentive and make sure that all of our employees are happy and healthy, both mentally and physically. And so I'm glad to see that we were able to do that.
Thank you for your leadership on drafting it.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Yeah, appreciate all your help, appreciate staff's help, and I really appreciate the support. Thank you. Alderman Lehman?
Just wanted to say, talk a little bit about the lighted parade. One, it was great to have an actual parade, instead of sitting still and people driving by. It was great to actually have a parade. You know, I thought it was phenomenal, the entries that we had, and you know, the Facebook just absolutely blew up.
Yeah.
With pictures of, you name it, Jeeps and you name it. And so then my wife and I were out driving around when the fireworks started. And that was impressive.
It's a long show.
That was impressive. For being.
We get $1,500 back when our budget's only $5,000.
For being not a professional company and to put on that kind of a show, that was impressive.
I even had one person tell me, oh, the fireworks went too long. I said, how can fireworks go too long?
Yeah. And again, to get money back from, so the only other thing on the fireworks thing, has staff looked at that? Because with the approval tonight of a permanent location, I think probably pretty soon we're gonna be having people, maybe even the Belfantes, wanting to be able to sell fireworks at a permanent location, instead of the tents at a permanent location. I know there are communities out there that have ordinances that have a timeline, but still allow sales at a permanent location, in their ordinance, so it might be something to look at, so, because I have a feeling you're probably gonna get some interest.
Will be a request.
I think
It may be, but
very quick.
But staff was upfront with him on what our ordinance did say
Right,
this whole time.
right.
So he understands that. Wouldn't surprise me if there might be a request at some point.
Right,
From us.
because I find it hard to believe
Understandable.
that, you know, he's gonna sell fireworks, 3 weeks out of the year, and then the rest of the time, he's gonna make enough money off of whatever.
Off of eggnog.
Off of eggnog. To pay for the cost of the land and the building and all that.
He already does that with that building up there on A Highway. When he's not selling fireworks, that building just sits there.
Yeah, that's true.
He's not running any other kind of sales out of
Do
it.
they live around here?
I don't know where they live.
It's kind of like Fun Farm. There are a lot of different businesses or
Yeah, but they have several
Greenhouse.
different events.
Penrods, you know, they are very, very seasonal. Some in the spring, some in the fall. That little window for their poinsettias.
I mean, I'm not saying he ain't, but I'm just saying that's what he's doing right now, so.
Since you both mentioned Nashville Night, I will say, the only thing that was just a little disappointing to me, Santa Claus got impatient. About 5 minutes before lining to the mayor tree, he looked up Washington Street, and there was a line to see Santa, almost all the way down Washington Street. Santa said 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're on the mayor tree himself, so there's no formal lighting ceremony. You think that really happened? You think Santa should have a naughty list?
I'm sorry, Mayor.
You know, besides that, I do agree, it was a wonderful night, so.
Are you
All
saying
kidding
it wasn't
Santa
a
Claus.
team play?
Don't put me on the naughty list for that.
Too late. You're already there.
That's funny.
I'm done. Yep.
That's why he didn't wear pajamas, so it's.
Uh-huh.
Alderman Holt?
Well, yeah, I got a couple things, but first is, I thought the parade was excellent, but we really need to stress next year, no candy throwing on the route, because it's dark. It ain't like daytime. I seen a couple kids run out, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna get ran over, because, the candy didn't get far enough out, and, it's not bright and sunny like it is the Just James Festival, and you can't really
Homecoming.
see, the drivers of these floats can't see these children when they come up to know when to stop or not. That was my only
How much was thrown?
concern. The float in front of us was throwing candy, and I was watching them, according to Haley, she said that there was like 3 or 4 floats that were throwing candy, and all the kids were running toward the floats. So, that made me concerned, because I don't want any children to get ran over.
I believe they got away from that in homecoming, and they walk candy out to kids now.
So I don't know, we have to watch that. That's my only thing on that. Second thing is, sounds like we're finally moving forward on way signs. Dave talked with the MoDOT about placing those signs. I am going to be so happy when
Yeah, they were coming up, they were going to come up last week on Wednesday when the weather was really nice, and they had the flu bug.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that right? They didn't come up? Oh, I
We
thought
were
they
gonna
did.
get
Up tomorrow.
some sites.
On it. Yeah, I'm anxious
Darn.
to see that come up. We're closer, sounds like, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's gonna be really good for our town. It's something that every other city around us has it, so it's kind of like we're late to the ball game on this deal, and I think it's gonna be really good that we get there, and we're gonna be Kearney, man. We're gonna be on the map. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that, so that's good. That's all I got.
I will just piggyback on what everyone else said. The Magic Night was magical. It was wonderful. Also, some safety concerns were brought up to me, and being on the float, I didn't really think about it, but I was contacted by numerous parents. Next year, we need to make sure that the cars are off the street, because the kids were running between, everyone else is shaking their head. We're running between the cars for the candy. They felt that we perhaps were not as proactive as we should have been, and usually we are with our homecoming parade, Jesse James, all of those. We need to make sure that this road is blocked off, that the cars are not there. It was an understandable thing. I think they thought that maybe if people sat in their cars, but we all were there. There were very few cars that actually had people in them. So let's be more proactive next year. And the candy thing is a true consideration also. There are pros and cons. The kids love it, the parents not so much. They were coming right up to quite a few of the floats. So we need to be more aware there. But the overall experience, it was unforgettable. My granddaughter is still talking about the float with the fire. Of all the floats, the float with the fire, your wife's behind us, and Santa Claus and the reindeer, and the fireworks. Those were her three big things, so.
Not the Polar Express, the award-winning
No.
Polar Express float?
Now, Gigi did get a few kudos, but, no, it was all about the fire.
Yes.
And Santa and the reindeer.
After you get the award, it's a
We did?
We did
You
get
most
awarded
unique?
Most Unique Award, so
Yeah,
Hats off to the water department,
Yeah.
who we teamed up
Yeah.
with,
They
and,
worked
and,
yes.
Mr.
Wow.
Mr.
Isn't it beautiful?
Ready to be impressed.
Mr. Jake Davis.
Oh, yeah, get ready.
Days.
Whoa.
Isn't that
Also lit, I don't know if you can see the light.
Yeah, so it's
Oh, that's
There's a little fan that sends the, glitter.
It is just beautiful.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So for the second year in a row, we got an award.
So that needs to go to the water department, they can keep it? Feel proud.
Yeah.
I'd
They
have
got
to
triple
say
K's
that
down there?
for the second year in a row, the Parks Department got a trophy too.
Let's not
Everybody gets
discuss
lucky
that.
sometimes, Ryan.
Was that a participation?
Yeah, it's pretty much. So, all right.
They couldn't give us most unique 2 years in a row.
Yeah, he leaves a comment, Parks Department with
Yeah,
that bulldog spirit.
Somebody hear that? No. Anyway, to adjourn,
So moved.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Everybody have a good evening. Even the Parks guys. Thanks.